Update. Am I the a-hole for turning down a Christmas dinner invitation from my mom's family? Original post. So I, 21 female, am currently in university and live on a dorm, using my own money and everything. My mom, 40 female, had me when she was 19. My dad joined the military to provide, and so he was gone most of the time. My parents split up when I was young, and my mom and I moved across the country. My mom started dating again when I was a teenager, and it was like I became invisible. When she married Gregory, 50 male, it became even different. I grew really resentful when my mom had a new baby, and I'll admit that it wasn't healthy and neither was my attitude. When the time for university came, I got a good enough scholarship and moved out. I'm honestly surprised they noticed I was even gone. I've gotten 2 texts from my mom a year, happy birthdays and happy New Year's. Only this year did I get a 3rd text, and that's just to announce I have a new baby sister. So I got an email the other day that was pretty much an invite to a Christmas dinner that they were hosting, and it seems like a lot of extended family are going to be there. I don't want to be there, so I declined the invite. Yesterday I got a phone call from my mom crying about me deciding not to come for the dinner and really wanting to see me. Then Gregory took the phone at all but called me an a-hole while scolding me. It's made me feel a little bad because she's still my mom, and I feel like I should just go for her sake. Now for the top advice before reading the updates. Not stay home. They weren't there for you when you needed them. That's literally a parent's job. Yep, not stay home. She's crying and he's mad because your absence at Christmas will raise a ton of questions about their parenting, or lack thereof, that they aren't comfortable answering because it'll make them look bad. I doubt it. The entire extended family knows, and they aren't hiding that I'm not part of the family according to my grandmother. And she's shown me Facebook photos where they've had captions like complete family to other stuff. And while my grandmother said she'd like me to reconcile, she thinks it's better for me if I don't. As much as I dislike Gregory, I do know him well enough to know that he does love my mom and hates seeing her cry. As for mom, I'm sure she wants to see me for me or because she feels bad, but that doesn't mean she deserves it. She didn't even invite me with a phone call or text, just an impersonal invite. I really do feel terrible for making her cry though, and do wish I hadn't done that. You didn't make her cry. She cried out of her own feelings of guilt, sadness, or whatever. You're not responsible for her feelings. Only text from your mom each year? No phone calls until now? Not stay home. You do what suits you. They've treated you like an acquaintance since she started dating and eventually married. It would be only normal for you to not wish to attend. Why waste a holiday with people who treat you that way? Your mother's husband's insults prove how he's felt all along. All the best to you. Not stay home. It is telling that you say the invitation is from my mom's family, rather than my mom or my family. Her actions made it so you don't consider yourself part of her family anymore. If your mother wants to reconnect, she needs to do the work of fixing her neglect of you when you were still a minor. And that takes more than an invitation to a family party, where they probably just want you there to play a happy family and make them look good. Having said that, think about the damage control. You say the extended family will be there. Is there anyone where you do care about them or what they think about you? What will your mother and stepfather say about you to everyone if you aren't there? Not being there lets them control what is being said about you. Is this something you can live with? If, say, you like your grandparents and they will be there, having lunch with them the week before and talking to them, letting them know what happened to you, will let you control the narrative. My grandma will be there and she knows everything. She's the only one who I visit and even care about. She's shown me the Christmas cards and Facebook photos they've posted. And it's all in such a way that it's like that's been the only family my mom's ever had, and like it haven't existed. The relatives that'll be there are always commenting positive crap to them too. And now for the first update. So my mom's Christmas party went and passed this past Friday, and I figured I'd make this post as an update. Like I thought, my mom phoned me back because my grandma made her. She asked to meet me in person, but I said I didn't feel comfortable. She said she could bring Gregory or Grandma if it would help. I said hell no to Gregory, which surprised her, but I did agree to Grandma. After no issues, we met in a coffee shop with Grandma claiming she would be a mediator. I looked at my post to see your guys' advice to, I don't know, guide me before I left. I admitted to Mom I didn't want to see her but thought this call would clear the air. I asked why barely only 2 texts a year. And she said Gregory told her that college kids didn't need their moms and would be interfering. I asked why she couldn't at least phone me to invite me, and she said Gregory told her sending an invite made me on the same level as the other relatives, and I would like being respected. That made no freaking sense to me, and I got so mad. I asked why the heck she even wanted me there when she would treat me like extended family. She told me when I was gone, and seeing how Gregory treated their kids made her realize she neglected me. She'd been going to therapy and wanted us to mend things. I pointed out listening to Gregory about me then was the dumbest possible thing she could do since he never liked me. I knew I'd start crying like a little witch, so I started ranting about how I'd rather not meet my half-siblings since I know I'd resent them. They don't deserve that. How my extended family also cast me out. How everyone blamed therapy not working on me. My mom was shocked, and even more shocked when Grandma took my side and everything. I told her I was really sorry that I made her cry and it didn't make me feel better. She forgave me on that, but told me it wasn't my fault, and she deserved it. My mom asked if I'd ever come home, and I said that Gregory would either need to apologize or die. That was a bit harsh, since I don't want him to croak, so I said if he leaves forever is good too. My mom said she understood, started crying, apologized like 100 times, and asked if she could text or phone me more often. I said sure, because it still makes me feel awful to see my mom cry. Since then, Mom has texted me and called me every day but hasn't tried to force things. I did not go to the party since Gregory has not apologized. Grandma has been staying with them and things aren't too good between them. They had big fights over him refusing to say sorry and how they treated me and aren't talking. I don't want my mom's marriage to end for the sake of her other kids, but I can't lie, it feels good to not be ignored. Apparently Mom wants to meet on Christmas or Christmas Eve, and as long as Grandma comes, I'll let her, but I don't know if we'll ever be close again. So thanks guys, your advice really did help and I'm feeling better mentally. Good job sticking to your boundaries. I'm happy your mom is showing growth and realizing what was wrong, and I hope your relationship improves even if you're not super close. Also, a hell yeah to your amazing grandma for sticking by your side and acting as a mediator. I hope you have a good Christmas, and that things keep getting better for you. Merry Christmas to you too. I don't know if things will ever get better, but her at least acknowledging she was wrong means something to me even if I don't know what it is. And I really do love my grandma, and I'm happy that other people think she's great too. Yeah, I'm loving your grandma too. But honestly, the first part of this update completely pissed me off. Gregory. I was thinking, does this mom have the basic common sense to wipe her butt after a dump? Or does she get/follow Gregory's advice for that too? But she surprised me. She seems to genuinely want a relationship but is taking steps to make that happen. Best wishes, Opie. I'm glad that your mother is understanding that she did a disservice to you and agrees that she neglected you. That's showing a lot more understanding and contrition that many mothers we see on here manage. I'd encourage you to see if you can build a relationship with your mother now, one that probably won't include Gregory. If it's just painful for you, then you can cut it off. But it sounds like something more positive than that is possible. Please don't feel like you owe it to your past self to cut your mother off or keep her at arm's length, if she's a positive in your life now. I don't see myself ever being around her if Grandma isn't there too. I'm happy that she knows she was wrong, but I don't know if I can trust her enough to give her a second chance to be my mom. And as for Gregory, I think she's finally gotten the message that I hate him. It sounds like your mom is in a really abusive and controlling relationship. Those are hard to get out from under her. While I'm not excusing her behavior, maybe try to see her in that light, and that her actually reaching out to you and willing to meet you on your terms is a huge step for someone in her position. She didn't start treating me bad when she and Gregory got together. That started before, and he treated her like an angel when I lived with them. Maybe it's changed, but that's how it was. Now for the last update. So I did meet with my mom. Grandma came to us per instructions, for lunch. We didn't talk about Gregory or anything. It was just a short meeting over coffee. We just talked about school, the engineering program I'm in, guys I've dated, and stuff. I guess it was nice to talk about myself even if it was awkward. She did ask me to spend more time with Grandma, and that made Grandma smirk, which means Grandma kept her promise about never revealing we hang out. I paid for Mom as a gift, and she gave me an old baby photo of me that she got redeveloped as a gift. I thought that was nice. I let her hug me goodbye. She didn't cry this time, so I don't feel like crap. It still feels weird, and I know it will for a long time. Maybe forever. It's hard letting go of hurts, but it is what it is. Hope you guys have a good Christmas. Next story is titled, Am I the a-hole for destroying family Christmas? I've been with my wife for about 5 years. Married too, and we have a 1-year-old son. My mom is the type of person who doesn't like change, doesn't like new people, and keeps to herself. That being said, she isn't controlling and doesn't seem to care what her kids do with their lives. But she doesn't like when she feels things are pushed on her. She is also someone who will just keep doing what she does without thinking. So when she continued to buy me lavish gifts but nothing for my wife or baby, I didn't think it was malicious. But it hurts my wife that even after marriage, my mom wasn't buying her gifts. I sat down with my mom and explained this. My mom was totally shocked and couldn't believe my wife expected a gift. I tried to explain that my wife is part of the family now, but my mom is upset and said she has 3 kids and shouldn't have to pretend my wife is her kid. She really seemed surprised, so I do think that was genuine. And she kept saying how mortified she would be if her husband expected gifts from her parents, and that she wouldn't be with such an entitled child. Finally, I told my mom to just stop. It is okay if she has a difference of opinion, but she is hurting my wife, and it needs to stop. My mom thought about it for a couple of months, talked to my sisters, who said she should just suck it up and buy gifts for our partners. And her ultimate decision was that she didn't want to host Christmas anymore. I thought she was bluffing, so I ignored it for months. I realized she was serious and said, fine, we can do it at my house. But she didn't want to come. I mailed her a small gift as a test and she mailed it back. Finally, I was like, screw it, and did Christmas with my wife's sisters and their partners. Both of my sisters were miserable the whole time, and one cried, which I thought was crazy dramatic. My mom was on vacation and had her phone off. The sister who cried finally blew up that my wife and I ruined Christmas and ruined our family, and she left early. Her and my other sister called our mom later and finally got her to answer and begged her to do a normal Christmas again. And my mom said she feels like now that we are all getting married and having kids, it shouldn't be her problem anymore, and she will think about it but is leaning towards me. Now my sisters are angry and feel that I ruined family Christmas. Not stay home. Your family sounds exhausting. Getting a present for the partners of your children isn't that strange. And frankly, it's weird that your mom hadn't considered it before. And your sister going into hysterics because your mom went on vacation and wasn't there seems ridiculous. Everyone needs to calm down. Maybe consider heading out of town with your wife next year and escaping the holiday drama. This. Also, your child's partner of 5 years/wife of 3 years and your own grandchildren aren't new people. They're family. The mother is a manipulative witch and the sisters are terribly influenced by their mom. I thought the mom sounded like she had some sort of processing disorder or was otherwise neurodivergent. This would explain a lot. I could overlook no gifts for your wife maybe, but none for your child? That's the much bigger issue. To accept lavish gifts if the baby gets nothing really bugs me. Newsflash, your mother absolutely is controlling. You just never noticed before because you were staying in line. Your sisters are still under the thumb, which is why they're reacting badly to your absolutely normal and reasonable request, and your mother's absolutely abnormal and unreasonable response. But that's their problem, not yours. Raising a kid is hard enough without trying to parents grow adults too. Stick to your guns. Either your wife and child are included in family Christmas, or family Christmas will be just you, your wife, and your child. Let the rest of them sort themselves out. Not stay home. Now for the last story. Am I the a-hole for refusing to host Christmas and ruining my husband's dream? So my husband, 31 male, has always loved Christmas and everything even remotely related to it, while I, 31 female, don't really care. Since my family is not Christian nor do they live in this country, we usually end up spending the holidays with his family. He has always lived in a large household and everyone there shares the same enthusiasm for Christmas he has, which always makes it fun. The problem is that now my husband said that he wants us to host Christmas at our house the next year. And I was like, okay, sure. Until he clarified he meant that I had to host it. prepare the dinner, and do all the grunt work. Now, I have no idea what goes into Christmas. My family's from a different religion, and my childhood only consists of me and my dad. So holidays have never been a huge deal for me. I don't know how to do all the stuff required. He had already told them we'd be hosting Christmas, and I got mad and said, how can you say that without even asking? So I told him clearly that it's not my responsibility to host Christmas for your family, since I really don't care one way or another. But now he's accusing me of ruining his lifelong wish, and he ended up telling his mother about it. So now my mother-in-law and sister-in-laws are blowing up my phone by saying why am I being such a Grinch. He has been sulking ever since we came back last night. I'm firm on my stance, but I'm still wondering since it's just a one-time thing if I should just suck it up. Not today, home. Why can't he do the work? What are you, his employee? Exactly. His lifelong dream is to sit back and host while his wife does all the work? Not today, home. I think it is, actually. Yep. OP, you are not today home, and you would be justified taking a nice vacation for yourself Christmas weekend, while your husband scrambles to fulfill the promises he had no intention of fulfilling himself. But if you don't want to do that, host a potluck Christmas and spend your time coordinating what others will bring. Tell your dear husband you're on it, but you'll have to delegate work to him. Then make him clean and decorate the house while you tell which relative to bring which food. You'll still have to work supervising, but you'll make it clear to him and everyone else that someone who doesn't celebrate Christmas should not be expected to be a servant to people who do. Not today, home. I knew it. I freaking knew it. I knew the moment I read a title that you were going to be doing all the work. If he wants to host, he can freaking cook, set up the damn table, clean and all that with you. And then telling on her to mommy was also predictable. Yep, I love Christmas. My family go all out every year and it's the best. We start planning 6 months out all the games, menu, etc. But the keyword is we. Every single family member pitches in with cooking, decorating, child-minding, and the cleanup afterwards. There is no way I would do a full Christmas with no help, or only help from the women in the family. Opie's husband is way out of line by demanding this, and to then send his mother and his sister after Opie? He is absolutely an a-hole.
Am I overreacting? My boyfriend told me he started dating me to bully his brother. Original post. I, 24 female, normally live with my boyfriend 25 male, but I'm spending the week with my cousin, who lives about an hour away. By the way, my boyfriend and I have been together 2 years. My boyfriend has been reaching out to me via FaceTime or text every day saying how much he misses me. Yesterday we FaceTimed and he said he can't wait for me to come back. I laughed and said that it's only been a week. He paused and randomly said, "Crazy that I only started dating you because of my brother, and I actually love you now. That wasn't the plan, haha." He was laughing and reminiscing as if it's all a fond memory. I got confused and asked him to explain. He grinned and said that his brother, 24 male, had a massive crush on me back then. For some context, I met them both at a gym. My boyfriend worked there as a personal trainer and still does. He said that he used to tease his brother about it. He was like, "I made it my personal mission to have you." I was like, what the heck? So you started dating me to show off to your brother? He put his hand up and said, "Hey, it's not as bad as it sounds." He explained that he found me physically attractive, though he admitted he didn't like my attitude. So sleeping with me to bully his brother wasn't a big hurdle. I was so pissed and confused, but he said that it's not a big deal and that I need to calm down, etc. We hung up and had this text back and forth. I'm still so pissed and in disbelief. I feel like my entire relationship was based on a lie, and I don't even know what's real anymore. Edit to post messages. Me. So help me understand. You seriously only started dating me because you wanted to make your brother feel bad? Am I hearing this right? Him. Yes. Me. Why? What kind of person does this? It's so messed up. Him. It's not that bad. He was obsessed with you, and it was funny to take what he wanted so desperately. It's a brother's thing, lol. Me. So it's a brother's thing to hurt each other? Do you even like me? Him. Don't get me wrong, babe. It started as a prank, but I fell in love with you. Yes, you had an attitude, but that only made it more blank brains out, haha. Don't think now that none of this is real. It is real. And I'm not lying to you, babe. Not anymore. I wouldn't still be here if I didn't like you. Me. So your brother had a crush on me and was obsessed, according to you. Instead of supporting your brother, you decided to make a move on me just to make him feel worse. And you see nothing wrong with that? You know this tells me everything I need to know about you as a person. Are you a sociopath? What's messed up is that he's a nice person, and literally the least deserving of this treatment. I can't believe what I'm hearing and reading, and you think all of this is normal. Him. Why pity him, lol? He's fat. He's in his room 24/7. Never had a girlfriend. He's a loser. Losers don't get nice things. I mean, all he can do is jerk off to you, haha. If he wanted you, he should have been a man, don't you think? No one forced your hand. You wanted me because I made your blank tingle. He simped from a distance, hoping you would give him a chance. But you're a woman, so I don't expect you to understand. Me replying to losers don't get nice things. So I'm a thing now? Why are you speaking of me like I'm some object to brag about? Just stop texting me now. I don't want to hear anything from you. Him. Babe, you're making this a bigger deal than it is. It's just a funny memory. It's just a brother's thing. No big deal. Babe? Come on. PMS? He's a kissless, overweight virgin. If I don't teach him life lessons, who will? I'm doing him a favor. He should be thanking me. Me. Stop texting me or I'll block you. I need some time to myself. Now for the top comments before reading the update. Why does this sound like a story of 17-year-olds? I was genuinely surprised when I saw the ages of everyone involved. Just so I understand what he's saying, the brother is overweight, out of shape, introverted, and not experienced with women? The thing is, his brother had a girlfriend in the past, so not sure why he's calling him a virgin. Not overreacting. Your boyfriend is an a-hole. Just look at his tone and how he talks about his brother. You really were just a thing for him. He would have left you long ago if he didn't fall in love with you. Seriously, no matter how I think about it, it's crazy AF. Also, look at how he talks about you, OP. You wanted me because I made your blank tingle. All he can do is jerk off to you? That's so gross, honestly. My husband has never spoken to me like this. And then accusing her of having PMS? What an a-hole. This is 100% not a brother thing. I'd move heaven and earth for my bro. Honestly, my sister 23 female and I 30 female don't really get along well. My mother says I despised her when I was younger, probably because I resented not being an only child anymore. And she's on the spectrum, so she, to my young brain, got more attention. But I would never do something like that to her, or talk about her, or treat her like a loser. That's not a sibling thing. It's a sociopath thing. We get along better now, but even back when we were both in school, if I had found out someone was treating her that way, I'd beat the crap out of them. That is a sibling thing, not genuinely thinking they are lesser than you and keeping people they like from them. That's insane. My brothers are absolute a-holes to each other, but I don't think even they would go this far. Like you have to genuinely, fully despise your brother to treat him like this. And he hates him because he sees him as a loser. That's it. That's literally it. He didn't even do anything to him. He just existed slightly wrong, and now he's subjected to pure vitriol and hate for it. WTF. Not overreacting. Your boyfriend is casually cruel, and you're right. He sees you as an object. Now that you know he treats family as NPCs, is this what you want in a partner? Can you imagine what he'll be like to his kids? F that. If he's teaching his younger brother this messed up lesson, what would he teach his son in future? Men are scary, I don't know. Now for the update. So in the end, I broke up with my boyfriend and I'm planning on moving out. Going back to my sister's place while I figure out what to do next. I canceled my gym membership at the gym he works at because I don't want to see his face anymore. I also texted his brother that I found out everything because my ex was dumb enough to confess his scheme, like I wouldn't dump him over it. I told his brother I'm sorry for the hurt he's been through and that I'm always here to listen if he wants to talk. Edit. Can y'all stop telling me to have sex with his brother? It's getting weird AF. I really wonder about people who just drop red flag nuclear like this. During the 2 years they've been together, did he never do or say anything that raised a red flag? Did OP never notice how the a-hole ex interacted with his brother or told stories about family? You wanted me because I made your blank tingle. He simped from the distance, hoping you would give him a chance. But you're a woman, so I don't expect you to understand. Like, how could someone who so lightly spoke like this never slip for 2 years? Not OP, but in my experience. In the beginning, no, they don't show any red flags. They normally seem like Prince Charming at first, then the mask slips a little, and he makes a mean comment about his brother. But you know how siblings are. I call my brother James Jimmy because I can. Then it slips a bit more. Maybe he makes a comment about you or someone walking by, but they're so few and far between, they can be excused as just an extra bad day. You can kind of tell when he thinks he's lost her though, because there's no real reason to keep the mask up. They can't plan out fights and play with you like a doll anymore, so time to break the toys. I really think he didn't talk to her like that on the regular. Next story. Am I the a-hole for cutting off my lifelong friend after he lied to keep me out of his wedding? I, 27 female, have been friends with Josh, 27 male, since high school. We were always super close, but it has always been 100% platonic. Think siblings, not romance. We grew up side by side, and over the years we've been through everything together. Family drama, rough breakups, new relationships, late-night vent sessions, and even celebrating each other's achievements. He's been one of the most consistent people in my life for nearly a decade. In 2018, Josh started dating his now wife Maddie. From the very beginning, Maddie wasn't comfortable with me. I completely understood why. She had mentioned having past issues with an ex's female friend, and I knew insecurities like that could linger. Because of that, I made a conscious effort to respect her boundaries. I pulled back from how often I reached out, invited her along to hangouts, instead of just asking Josh, followed her small business pages, commented supportively on her posts, and generally tried to include her whenever possible. At one point, Josh admitted that he hadn't told Maddie when he and I hung out, just the two of us. I immediately told him that wasn't okay, and that he needed to prioritize her comfort first. I reminded him that while our friendship mattered, his relationship with her came first. That seemed to smooth things over for a while. Things even improved to the point where Maddie and I went on a double date with Josh and my boyfriend. It went really well, and I thought maybe we had turned a corner toward mutual trust. Not long after, Josh confided in me that he was planning to propose to Maddie. I was genuinely happy for him. But in the same conversation, he also told me that I wouldn't be invited to the wedding. His reasoning was that they were keeping it tiny, just 20 to 30 close family members. I told him I completely understood, didn't make a fuss, and even gave them a generous engagement gift. I asked him to send me the registry when the time came because I wanted to support them, even if I couldn't be there in person. After that, I made small attempts to keep building a friendship with Maddie. I invited her to things and even followed up when she once suggested another double date. But every time it ended with, "We're too busy," or plans just quietly falling through. I chalked it up to newly engaged life being hectic. Fast forward to the actual wedding. I only found out it had happened through social media posts. And it wasn't the intimate, tiny 20-person wedding I was told about. It was a full event with close to 200 people. All of our mutual friends were there. People Josh wasn't even very close with were there. Everyone except me. What stung wasn't the lack of an invite. I would have respected it if Maddie just didn't want me there. What hurt was the lie. Instead of being honest, I was fed a story about a small family-only event, and then I had to see the truth online. My boyfriend feels like I went above and beyond to be respectful and supportive, and he's upset for me too. Now I feel like I've lost one of my closest friends, and I don't know what else I could have done differently. Would I be the a-hole if I sent Josh and Maddie a message saying I'm hurt and then unfollow them on social media so I can finally move on? Or should I just leave it alone and quietly let this friendship go? Now for the top comments. Not the a-hole. but I wouldn't bother with a message. Block them, grieve, and move on. Yes, this. They don't deserve a message. They don't deserve a single ounce of your effort or attention. Block them so you don't give in to the self-destructive desire to follow them on social media and move on. They're not your friends. She never was, and he hasn't been at least since the engagement, if not before. They don't deserve a message, and women like Maddie will twist anything OP says and act vindicated in her psycho insecurities. Literally this. I, 28 female, had a friend 32 female who let her new wife, who I had gone to high school with, tear our friendship apart because of her insecurities. My friend cheated on her first wife, and her new wife had previously been cheated on. And even though my former best friend and I had always been platonic and nothing more, I completely supported her and her wife, and I still ended up being left out in the cold. The worst part was that my friend of almost 3 years didn't even defend me to her wife. I blocked them both, but unfortunately we work in the same place. I give both of them the dirtiest looks, or act like they're not there if I see them. Long story short, screw them. This might be unpopular, but I think we should go back to the way friendships used to dissolve before the age of social media. Just let it go. There's no need for closure, which I realize you already said. But I would skip the blocking part. It's really not that difficult, and it's good self-discipline. Friendships dissolve, sometimes organically, sometimes with some explosions. I don't know why Josh felt he had to lie. It might not even have come from Maddie. But if OP doesn't feel like she can inhabit the same apps with someone without going off the deep end, there is more to work on than just the loss of a friendship. I agree with this. I get blocking harassers, but I don't get blocking friends you want distance from. Just do the slow fade. It leaves room for casual contact, the equivalent of being on someone's Christmas card list, and even for resuming the friendship in the future. Last story. Am I the a-hole for wanting to break up with my fiancé even if I caused the accident? So a month ago, I was at my fiancé's house. I was supposed to spend a week there. One day he was still at work, and I decided to cook something. The important thing here is that his kitchen has 2 electrical sockets. I don't know if this is the right translation. Sorry if not. I don't use English usually. I was using one, but I had to mix something, so I needed the other one too. About 2 minutes after that, the mixer cable started getting warm and then smoke started coming out of the electrical socket. I unplugged the cable, but it was too late. There was a fire, not big, but still scary. I immediately ran to turn off the power and then managed to put out the fire. But I didn't know what to do next, so I ended up calling the fire department anyway. They arrived quite quickly and helped me a lot. It turned out that when my fiancé showed up at the house, the firefighters were still there along with the electrician. Of course, I paid for all the damages and apologized to my fiancé, but he was still upset. And we had a big fight because he claimed that this electrical socket was always broken and I should have known. I really had no idea. So I ended up going home. A few days later, he called me and apologized. Generally, everything seemed to be returning to normal. We met up and talked. His kitchen and the rest of the house were fine, etc. The thing is, there's one detail that's stuck in my head and hasn't let go. See, my fiancé has a dog. This dog was with me during the incident. When my fiancé came home, from the entrance until he reached the kitchen, he kept calling his dog's name, and he hugged his dog first. I really can't stop thinking about it. He didn't know what had happened yet, but he never once called my name or paid me any attention. And once we started talking, it was immediately an argument. He never once asked if I was okay, if I had been hurt or what. On the one hand, I feel very selfish for making this about myself when it was my fault. On the other hand, thinking about it makes me think about other past events when he simply didn't care about me or cared more about something else. For example, there was a carnival in our town, and we were walking down the stairs when I tripped. My hands and knees were all scraped up, but his first reaction was to ask, "Is the food okay?" Or when we were going on a trip, he was driving and I felt sick, but he didn't want to stop or anything. There are big gaps in time between these incidents, and it's not that we don't have good times and he never cares, but I feel like there's still a strange amount of it in our relationship, more than in other couples. He blamed you for using the broken socket. No blame for himself for not fixing the broken socket, or at least putting some electrical tape over it so it couldn't be used until it was fixed. A very temporary measure only. Not the a-hole. You should listen to your intuition. Facts, like he shifted all blame when he literally knew the socket was busted. That's not just unfair, it's unsafe. Dude, not the a-hole all the way. The whole fire thing was a freak accident, no one's fault. And forgetting that, the dude checked on the dog before you? Priority check much? And those other examples are setting off major alarm bells. Your feelings are valid, homie. Respect is a must in every relationship, period. Sounds like he doesn't exactly have your back or prioritize your well-being. You deserve better. I don't care if I get downvoted, this is my hot take. The whole fire thing was a freak accident, no one's fault. I bet the fire marshal would have a different opinion on this. There is a reason why there are regulations on kitchen wall sockets in most places in the US, like GFI only. Not sure where OP lives, but it may be different there. If you have a faulty electrical socket, that is priority number 1 to fix. And failing that, get one of those plastic plug blockers until you do so no one uses it. This is absolutely the boyfriend's fault for not having taken care of it in the first place. I'm actually mad that OP paid for the damages.